Hey, Gabriel Blake.
Hey, Gaybros Jose.
Where
San Francisco.
are we? You are killing me right now. I have a script on my mind. You are throwing me off. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm going to be like, just drop it.
You're lying.
Okay. No, now it doesn't work. Now it doesn't work is that you broke the magic of the moment.
It's fine. Now they know I'm in San Francisco and we don't have to bother where you are.
Spoiler alert, and wow. So many years of friendship and then just being treated like this.
Is it still snowing?
No, not right now. So, but I think that it's going to be like snowing like pretty bad tomorrow. So let's see if we can actually leave on our trip.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. It's direct to San Diego tomorrow?
No. We're. I'm not going to be like giving too much details, but no, it's to Mexico.
Just give your flight number.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and my seat. My social security number too. Why not? Let's actually, like make it interesting to the two people that they're listening to us.
I mean, technically the episode will come out long after your travel is done, so it's not like they can go back in time and find you in Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, yeah. Puerto Vallarta. But no. Tomorrow I'm flying out to better weathers. The destination better weathers. I think there is like 90 degrees there. So it's going to be an interesting change from the 30 that we have right now.
Oof. I mean, that's not too cold, but it's still pretty cold. I would be shivering for sure.
Yeah. So tomorrow I'm just wondering about I guess that we're going to go with an Uber to the airport, but I'm going to be like just wearing like many layers of clothes when I'm not going to be like wearing them later or not.
Yeah, don't take a coat. No.
Yeah. But yeah, talking about snowy weather and I don't know what else to say, but let's just say snowy weather. What did we watch this time?
This was your pick, and you picked the 1996 classic, as you called it, film by the Coen brothers, Fargo.
Would you say that is
Francis McDormand and William H. Macy and Stephen Buscemi?
Yeah, Buscemi.
Peter Stormare.
Yeah. Would you say that this is the most iconic of his movies, or The Big Lebowski?
It's actually between those two and the Brothers movie that I didn't see with George Clooney.
Oh, Brother, Where Are They? Yeah.
I think Oh Brother, Where Art Thou got way more awards attention, and it was PG-13, so it brought in an entire, age group that hadn't been allowed to watch Fargo. You know what I mean?
But it was a musical, no?
I don't know. I've never seen it because I hated every piece of music I heard from it. I wanted to murder that movie.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, this was my pick. The reason, let me just think. I mean, the reason why I watch it, it's a movie that I really like, and I've been just threatening my boyfriend with, "Hey, we need to watch this eventually because you have never watched it." And it's one of my, before watching like a lot of movies, it was like one movie that I felt is like, oh wow, this is a really good like creative style that they have. And they also have I feel like the Coen brothers were like pretty good at that point of finding extraordinary stories in ordinary American settings.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that is it's the magic of Fargo, even like the TV show. That is a place where nothing is supposed to happen, and there is like this escalated, this escalation of events of just like very absurd and very like, hey, this is a slice of life mixed up with a police thriller in the middle of nowhere.
Like the average American rural, well, it's not rural, it's Minneapolis, but in a flyover city, how quickly things can go badly.
Yep. But yeah, that's the reason why I picked it up. So as this was my pick, I guess that you have to give some kind of summary.
Okay, so I actually asked you for help because it's been a couple weeks since I've seen this and it's complex.
Okay.
But quick question, just a little piece of trivia. Can you name who is listed as director on this film?
Oh, it's I have it in front of me, but
so
it's Joel, no?
I thought both of them directed it. I literally just learned this like 5 seconds ago.
No, I mean, both of them are listed in IMDb, but I think that Joel was like the first name.
Oh, and they can only put one on Wikipedia because it says that it was directed by Joel Coen, written by Joel and Ethan, and produced by Ethan.
In IMDb, both names comes up, but when I check about like who was like the awards that they have, is Joel Coen was nominated as best director, but Ethan Coen was nominated for best pictures. He was the producer.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So, as we said, the film takes place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yes, and our protagonist or our anti-hero is named Jerry, played by
William H. Macy.
Yes, William H. Macy. And he needs a lot of cash, and he needs it quickly. Do they ever explain why? Oh, because he wants it for the deal.
Yeah, but it's like, a part of me just thinks that there is something else in there, that he may be owing like some money or something, because otherwise it's like if he misses this, it's not the end of the world. I think that he may actually be afraid of, hey, I'm going to get fired from my company because he did like some shady shit.
Yeah, he was doing something with the car insurance and like faking. He's in trouble. We don't know why, but he needs a lot of money fast. His dad is quite I don't know exactly what he does, but businessman in Minneapolis, lots of money to invest.
No, it's his father-in-law.
Father-in-law, yeah, sorry. Yeah. So he's married to the daughter of this powerful businessman who doesn't seem to like Jerry at all. So Jerry plans to have his wife kidnapped by two batshit insane criminals played by Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare. I always forget his name. And then he's going to have them hold her for ransom so he can get the money from his father-in-law. But then he makes a pitch about a business deal that will make William H. Macy a lot of money to the father-in-law. And the father-in-law is like, wow, this is a great deal. Let's do it. And so he tries to cancel the kidnapping, but it's too late.
Yep, you don't cancel those things. Yep.
And so the kidnappers end up like killing some people on their like, somebody sees that they've kidnapped someone, so they have to kill the passersby. Like they're dead people. And this is where Frances McDormand enters, where she is a rural, small town sheriff, I believe.
Yep. Yeah.
So she's police chief, Marge Gunderson, who's 7 months pregnant, and she's remarkably deductive. Like her reasoning, I was like, "Wow, you're a pretty good cop." So she goes around trying to solve it. William H. Jerry.
I had the feeling that she's like very wholehearted, like very deep America, nice person, but also at the same time a bit ruthless.
She knows her shit.
Yeah.
I love there's a part where she has a stupid police officer who comes to some conclusion that's ridiculous, and she's like, "Oh, I'd have to disagree with your police work there, Jerry."
So nice, you know.
But because the kidnapping is happening, Jerry has to go through and try and tell his father-in-law, "Oh, the kidnappers are only talking to me. We have to get the money." He finds out that the deal, it's not that the father-in-law is going to lend Jerry the money for the deal. The father-in-law just wants to invest his own money and pay a small finder's fees, so the money's falling through and the insurance people are coming, and I don't know how much more detailed we want to get.
No.
We see eventually the kidnappers and what they were doing with Jerry's wife, which she's alive for a while.
Let's say that things get completely out of hand. It's like basically
that's insane. And then somebody ends up in a wood chipper.
That's right. That's right.
And it's all based on a true story, right, Jose?
I think that is like very, very distantly inspired by something that maybe have happened.
Oh, I thought it was just a complete lie, because the film starts out saying this is based on a true story, and I think the Coen brothers were just like, I don't know, I think we can just say that.
I think that is not. That maybe they heard like something once and they said like, hey, you know what would be funny? Like making this even more absurd, like taking it to the extreme, and then just building a movie around it.
So, I mean, ultimately the number of the main cast dies, and But Marge ends up solving her case, and she goes home to her husband, who we find out just had a painting of his chosen for a 3-cent stamp, and it ends.
Yeah, and that's it. I like the relationship of Frances McDormand and the husband.
It's very sweet. It's very sweet.
But I find it hilarious how she actually asked him about, like, how are you doing? How is everything going? And he has the most uninteresting stuff ever about, like, oh, I'm going to go fishing. And, it's like, oh, gee, I hope that you get like a really big fish. She shows like an interest about like what he's doing, but he never asked a single time about like, oh, I hear about you on TV. Why don't you tell me more about like that super exciting case?
That's interesting. Now that you pointed out, yeah, he doesn't show much interest in what she's doing day to day, but I was very touched, like overly touched by this scene when she gets called about these discovered murders towards the beginning of the film, but it's like 4 a.m. or something. And he's like, oh, I'll get there. And he's like, I'll get up, I'll make you some breakfast. And she's like, no, go back to bed. Nope, you have to have breakfast. These two love each other. It's super sweet.
But I think that is the biggest strength of this movie is the script. The script is incredible of this movie.
And Frances McDormand. Yeah. I'm sorry, that performance is incredible.
Well, I mean, she won an Oscar. I think that's her first Oscar before Nomadland.
Oh dear Lord, let's not talk about that.
But what I was going to say, this is a movie that I still like the first time that I watch it. Is that it still has like some kind of charm of, as I was saying, like a slice of life mixed up with a absurd black comedy thriller thing, that the characters are like so well fleshed out, the script is like so well written that you can watch it as many times as you want, and I think that is like equally enjoyable.
It's interesting because I think this is the third time only that I've watched it. And the first time I watched it, I was like 21-ish, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Then I think I watched it like 28 or so. And I was like, oh, I don't know why this was such a big deal to me. I was like, it's fine. But then this time I was like, this is a fucking good movie.
Yep.
It's like really, really good. Yep. And if you think about it, it's almost 30 years old. That's pretty crazy.
Yep. It's insane that this was released when I was pretty young, But what I was going to say, it aged like pretty well, and it justifies a bit like why people were looking up to what are the Coen brothers going to be doing next?
Yeah, I agree. And I think the Coen brothers were Sundance people.
Probably. You mean like they were discovered there?
I think so. I could be wrong. Yeah, in 1985, they premiered their first film.
1985, Blood Simple? Oh, okay.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's a big... Yeah, Sundance is very proud of discovering that film. They don't stop talking about it.
Racing Arizona with Nicolas Cage, no? Yeah.
We should watch that.
I don't know. I watched it a couple of times when I was little, and I was like...
No, it's not
it doesn't have like the level of, I don't know, grounded in reality. I think that it's way too absurd for me.
I just see it as like, if everything is yin and yang, right? Then like Racing Arizona is the yin to the David Lynch film with
no.
Also
with Nicolas Cage. No, dude, like, no. Wild at Heart.
Yes, Wild at Heart.
No.
It's like the good and evil side of the same coin.
And both of the sides with Nicolas Cage. That part, I buy it. Yeah, but then they got to, No Country for Old Men is good. Born After Reading, I still like it. Did you watch Inside Llewyn Davis?
Nope, that was the film of theirs that I never watched anything by them again, unless A Perfect Man or a single man. A serious man. Yeah.
A serious man. Yeah,
I did watch A Serious Man, and I was blown away by that film.
I never watched it. It's like one of those that I maybe have watched like 5 minutes and I was, I just watch it next week.
Yeah, it was. I remember that being really good.
Yeah. But yeah, I had the feeling that since, I'm checking, and since 2018, they haven't done anything together. Is that they actually have...
They've done directing projects apart?
Yes.
Huh.
Then I'm surprised if something happened or whatever. But Joel Coen, he actually did this Macbeth movie last year for A24, or 2 years ago.
With Denzel?
Denzel Washington, you said? Yeah. I'm Frances McDormand. Joel is the one that is married to Frances McDormand.
Nepo woman.
But at least she's good.
She's very good. That was not A24, was it? That was Apple TV.
With A24. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's a match made in hell. Fuck you, Apple A24.
But yeah, I remember the trailer when it was like coming out. I think that year I went like several times to the cinema, and they were like putting it like so many times that I was saying, it's like, well, it's a Coen. Like, is that a should watch it? And then it was like, I don't want to watch a Macbeth adaptation to cinema.
I went with my mom to watch it, and an hour into it, I Googled how much longer there was, and there was I don't remember how long we were, but there was an hour and a half left, and I leaned over and I said, I would like to leave. There's 90 more minutes of this. And she's like, no, we can. She thought I wanted to leave for her, and I was like, no, I want to leave.
You can stay and wait outside.
It's not that it was bad. I wasn't ready for like pure Shakespeare English in black and white.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to Fargo.
No, I was also going to take us back to Fargo. I don't know what. It's weird. There's like nothing to say about this film because it's just like a solid classic.
Yep.
It's great. It's fun to watch. It's good filmmaking. Everything about it is good. And I like it.
Yep. And it has like, you can rewatch it like many times. Actually, when I was watching it, I was thinking a lot about The Big Lebowski. There is a movie that my friends back in college, they used to watch all the time.
I used to love that movie.
Yeah.
I will say that like, I love that this, even though this is a black comedy, and it's pretty black in some spots, it's laugh out loud funny. Like every time I watch it, I laugh out loud, which is pretty uncommon for any film for me, and I like that.
Sure. Should we go back to questions?
Yes.
Okay. Would you watch it again?
Yes.
When?
Honestly, like my husband didn't watch it with me. If he was like, "Hey, so you're watching that? Do you want to watch it?" I'd be like, "Yeah."
Yeah, for me, it's like if I go, somewhere and they're like watching it, I will be like, damn, yeah, I want to watch it again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Would you recommend it?
Yes, and probably to anyone. Even though there is a wood chipper, there's nothing too graphic about anything in this film.
Yeah, there are like some shootings, there are like some dead, but there is never like too much blood or graphic. We see like someone like running away and how they shoot him, But beyond that, it's more about like for just giving you. This is not like what's it called? No Country for Old Men. I think that No Country for Old Men is like way more graphic.
Yeah, they wanted to shock you, and this doesn't shock you with their visual violence or graphicness.
Yeah, I think that is more the shock from they're in the middle of nowhere in a place that you wouldn't expect this happening, like this burst of violence. And it's so absurd, as you were saying, like the cheaper part is that you're horrified, but also at the same time, like giggling and like.
The 7-month pregnant Frances McDormand. It's like
hey.
A computer store.
I love when she plays the hand, but yeah. And police. It's like he's not the neighbor, complaining about the noise. Stop. Would you remember it?
Yeah, I think so. Not like 100%, but the major plot points, yeah.
Yeah. There were like some stuff that I have forgotten. Is like when it happened like in front of me again, I was like, oh, that's right. That's what it was going to be like happening here. But overall, it's like a pretty memorable, like the general story about like, hey, this is a kidnap that it goes terribly wrong. Terrible on every single level. Is there anything artistic about it?
Yeah, I mean, yes, there's a lot. I think the direction is very solid.
Yeah.
The writing's excellent. The performances,
Yeah. For me, the script is sublime in its simplicity and complexity at the same time. You know, it tries to be entertaining and it succeeds on that. And as you said, it's like the acting like sell it properly from everyone, even like the hookers. When they're being interviewed, everyone that is on the movie it does an incredible job. Like everyone is like really inspired. Is it a timeless piece now that it's almost 30 years old?
Yeah, completely. Yes.
Yeah, I would say that if they had technology, maybe some stuff would have changed. Like, hey, they have phone, they can call them, but probably you can just like work around that.
Yeah, it's not a problem, I think.
Yeah.
From the question about whether it's timeless.
The next question is a good one. Would you turn this into a TV show? And would you watch it this time, Blake, after insisting you for years?
Honestly, if I just looked... Well, they did not turn this into a TV show.
Well,
they turned the TV show into this universe.
Sure, there is a show called Fargo that it takes other stories that they follow the same principle of things that you don't expect to happen in the middle of America. And there is a village called Fargo on each one of them, where the action doesn't happen.
Okay, but if they turned The Favorite into a TV show and just made it about other English monarchs, would you feel like it's about The Favorite that they adapted into a TV show? No, it's just adjacent. It's not.
I don't fully agree. It's just watch the show, honestly, because it's like, hey, there is a really big effort into, hey, this is not the story that you see on the movie. They have a couple of references about like, oh, gee, this reminds me of that case that happened in blah, blah, blah. But they do it in a very respectful way. They understand like what is the core of this. If they do like another monarch, you know, in the British story, and they put like the same kind of elements to it, it doesn't have to be like 2 lesbian lovers or 3 lesbian, you know, like a love triangle. But as long as it actually have a bit more of like the spirit behind, I'm absolutely down. I wish that there were more like inspired by instead of the same story.
I don't disagree with anything you just said, but my answer is still, if we did not know about the TV show and I just watched Fargo, I would say I wouldn't want to turn this into a TV show.
So wait a second. Just think about Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is another show that is like, hey, it's an ordinary place, the Pacific Northwest, a small village where nothing supposedly happens, and then you start like pulling from the thread and you unravel like a lot of weird stuff in there. Don't you think that format works pretty well?
I mean, yeah, but I like the scope of what we saw. I like the scope of what we saw specifically into Marge Gunderson's life. We didn't see any more or less than like 2 or 3 days, and you're right, we never saw hit the husband show interest, but it ended so sweetly and perfectly in that conversation in bed. Like I just feel like it would ruin something that I feel is... Now, I'm not going to give this a 10, but this is such a perfect experience for me. I don't know that I would risk expanding that out. And David Lynch has a lot of ideas for all of his characters that he has to edit out. I don't know that the Coen brothers were like thinking everything they're doing is in the same universe.
That's fair. I would still go with yes. You know, not only because of that TV show, but more because of Twin Peaks. That is like a part of me wish that I could have spent more time with some of these characters. Imagine like those TV shows that they have like a breather episode that is like the story doesn't progress that much, and that story is like One Day with Francis McDormand husband. It just follows his story and nothing happens.
It could be done. I'm not going to say it can't be done. That's fair.
Right. But you go with no, I go with yes. Could this have been a short?
No, no. I think we needed almost everything. There's nothing that's boring. Nothing that I felt was like, why are we spending time on this? No.
Yeah, I agree. I had the feeling that it's a very lean script and runtime. It's perfect runtime for me. There is no filler. It's all about like just progressing the story and just increasing the absurdism about like what is happening. Do you think that this movie could have been better?
I'm gonna go with no because nothing jumps out at me about obvious flaws. I wouldn't want to mess with this.
Yeah, the same for me. It's like, for me, it's a movie that there is no glaring problems. I wish that I could have spent more time on that universe, I guess. And the TV show came to the rescue, even with Carrie Coon and Kirsten Dunst and Ted Danson. But
so much.
Yeah, I really like it. So should we score this? This was my pick. So you have to score first.
I do have to score first, and now I'm torn because I want to give it an 8.5. But I feel like it's a little better, or not quite as good as Anatomy of a Fall.
You think that this is worse than Anatomy of a Fall?
It's not worse. Worse is not an adjective that I would use. I do think Anatomy of a Fall
is not as good.
Is a little more elevated. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it an 8.25.
Okay. For me, this is a 9.
Oh, wow.
No. For me, this is... As we were discussing about Anatomy of a Fall, I was saying that they are like small things that I could change. On this one, is like so enjoyable. I watched this movie so many times, and I still have like the same enjoyment. Like watching it, it doesn't feel work. It's like it tries to just make me laugh. It succeeds every single time.
That's the bar of a 9. It makes me laugh every time.
Make me laugh every single time. No.
No, so you give happy endings.
No. Depending on the episode. But I watched this movie like probably 25 years ago, or 28, whatever, like after it was released, and I loved it. And it's like nowadays, I still feel like this is completely timeless. It's like how it was done, how the script works. Is that I wouldn't change anything. For me, it is like a reference movie. That is like if I were to do like a list of top 100, I would never forget about Fargo. I would forget about Anatomy of a Fall.
I'm setting the Google reminder 1 year from now.
That's absolutely fair. But I'm not saying about like doing it a year from now. It's like if someone just puts me like the work of do 100 movies, probably I would go to this list, you know.
Yeah.
Now we have like some reference, but if I didn't have it, it's like Fargo definitely would be there. Because for me, it's like a, how do you say, like a round movie? Like pretty
well-rounded movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like you're saying on your list of most enjoyable movies, which is not the same as the list of the best movies, because there are bad movies that are very enjoyable that I watch all the time. So I just want to be very clear.
No. I'm saying
best films anyone has ever made, Fargo's going to be on there.
In my top 100, yes, it would be.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to be sure we had the same definition.
Yeah. I mean, it's also enjoyable. If I have a list of top 100 enjoyable movies, probably would be there. The problem is like at that point, I would go to the bottom of the barrel. There would be like 90 Showgirls level kind of movies before I get to something like Fargo.
Okay.
You know, because I love like very terrible movies. But this, I think that is a good, enjoyable movie.
I agree. This is as entertaining as Showgirls, but better.
Wow. Okay. So as we have a bit of a mix-up between the movies, I'm going to be like picking up, I don't know, it already a thing that is like your dog already knows what is coming. You know what is coming. But yes, we actually watched a couple of thrillers. I suggested to actually continue on the thriller story and Marius like discovering all of their dirty secrets, and we're going to be watching Gone Girl by David Fincher.
I don't know why. It's just fun. As I told you when we were recording, I'm looking forward to watching Gone Girl again. I love David Fincher. I just feel like this is the weirdest pick you've ever done. and I love it. I think it's great.
I'm surprised that you said that, dude. It's like I think
I don't know
that
why.
only
I can't explain it, but
I think that I only score a movie a 10 or two movies a 10. And one more thing, it was for David Fincher. You know that I love David Fincher.
I know. But I'm sorry if somebody told me, "Hey, today Jose's going to pick a movie starring Ben Affleck,
I'm Ben Affleck. Okay.
Patrick Stewart, and you're going to be excited." I'd be like, "What? What is happening?"
To be completely fair, I have forgotten that Neil Patrick Harris was on it until you brought it up.
Well, you'll be reminded when you watch the film. He plays a very straight man.
And he fails a bit.
Just like on How I Met Your Mother.
He looks more straight on How I Met Your Mother than on
Yeah, but
this.
I've never believed a man loves boobs less than someone who talks about boobs like Barney Stinson. It's like there's no real longing for boobs there.
That's hilarious. Let's just say, like the rest of the comments,
Okay.
about Barney and Penny, for the first episode, and Batman. So
We not to do such big things.
yeah, I'm already regretting picking it up. But yeah, man, anything else to say about Fargo?
Nope, great film.
Yeah. And to everyone else out there, thank you so much for putting up with us.
Get your vaccines.
Okay, bye.